Welcome to the Wallcast. This is our sixth episode, I believe. Sixth quarantined episode, at least. It's Matthew, Frank, Sam, and Logan returning. Small group today, but we're going to go over some specific topics like stuff we've been watching, and we're going to do an interesting segment called Anti-Rec, which is everything that we suggest you don't do while in quarantine.
Yep, anti-recommendations.
So first we're going to give you like a glimpse what we've been doing for the past week or so, and then we'll go into everything that we hate about media today. Specifically stuff not to watch during quarantine.
Everything we hate about media today.
Which
All
I
right.
feel like I'm going to end up spearheading because I hate everything.
No kidding.
You are definitely going to spearhead it. I feel like it's almost only going to be a Frank segment. Should we start on a positive note? Start with what we've been enjoying?
Sure.
Who wants to go first?
Definitely not me.
Let me think here. I've been enjoying the new Fiona Apple album. Anyone listens to her.
I actually don't know who that is either.
It is, all right, I have called it like gay fanfare music. It is on a Spotify playlist I have that's like tunes for when spirits spawn in the woods. So that's the vibe.
I don't understand anything you just said.
That's okay, Frank. I don't think you would like it, so I'm not going to target this at you.
I think I kind of get it, but like
I think Matt would kind of get the vibe. I don't think Frank would at all. But that's what I've been listening to, and then I've also just watched a bunch of period dramas that you guys won't know about or care about. I watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which is like critically acclaimed, and I watched it because when they filmed it, it was shot in like 8K. So I'm kind of upset I had to just watch it on my like small ass TV because it was stunning. None of you would like it. I don't have any recommendations that I think you guys would like.
As I say, I feel like I haven't heard or know anything that you said.
I don't have any recommendations for you three. I don't know. Matt might like Portrait of a Lady. No, you know who would like it? Sean, because Sean always likes obscure movies that I have to bring up. But it's about lesbians and it's about painting, and I don't think Frank would like it. It's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. But yeah, and I'm rewatching The Hunger Games.
Oh my God.
So you're just looking through your window?
Yes, I am. I'm just watching outside. Peter and Candace are just, out there. But actually, The Hunger Games, I will say, the first movie, I thought it was fine, and then I watched Catching Fire, and you realize that the first movie, doesn't hold up as well as the second one does. Just cinematography-wise. There's, weird shots in the first one, and it just doesn't really work. But the second one, I stand by, is still really fucking good. And that's my rec, is rewatch The Hunger Games in the year 2020. They're putting out a new Hunger Games book, and that's what made me rewatch the movies. They're making a new book, and it comes out next month.
Is it actually set in 2020?
No, it should have been. It's a prequel to, some would say, one of the least interesting characters of the series, the fucking dictator, president. They're doing a prequel about him. It does sound awful. About Snow, about President Snow. They're doing a prequel book about him. I know, Haymitch is right there. Do a prequel about him, but...
I really don't understand why that would be the character.
Is that Woody Harrelson's character?
No.
No, Haymitch is Woody Harrelson's
That's what
character.
I'm saying. Haymitch is, right?
Yes.
Haymitch is, and he's the one who should have a prequel book.
I big agree with that.
Haymitch should have a prequel book, or Finnick. I would also accept a Finnick book, or a book about the rebellion. Lots of characters to work with. But they're going with President Snow. I don't know. The book was half off on Amazon, though, so I pre-ordered it.
Oh, actually, I know a movie that I watched that was really good.
All right, go ahead.
Train to Busan.
I want to watch that so badly.
It's real good, honestly.
So what is that?
It's a zombie movie, and pretty much it's centered around this. It's a Korean zombie movie, so it's all in subtitles and obviously.
Here for that.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right?
I'm into it.
But there's a lot of nuances throughout the movie. There's a lot of commentary throughout the movie, where it does focus partly on the zombies, but the zombies is more, and it kind of is almost like I'm trying to think of another movie to compare it to. I really can't because it did zombies real well in the fact of just use zombies as a medium to explain like kind of what the actual problems are going on. Because of course, as all zombie movies go, it divulges into human versus human. And
Yeah.
it does it really well because like so they're pretty much on a train. They're on a one-way train. And each cabin is obviously infested with zombies, and there's only certain cars now that are left with survivors. And so there's like one scene in particular where one of the groups gets separated and they have to like go through the train cars to make it back into the main cabin. And the survivors there, like when they get back, they're like, don't let them in. And they're like, what do you mean, let us in? Like, we're fine. We're not infected. Let us in the fucking... Because they show, like, when you get bit, it's almost like... It's kind of like World War Z rules where it's, like, literally, like, 20 seconds or less and you're a zombie.
Damn.
And so they're like, oh, no, they can be affected. They can be affected. We can't let them in. And because they do that, like, one of the best characters, unfortunately... gets bitten and sacrifices himself.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
He, like, stops the zombies from getting to them.
Yeah. And there's several characters that kind of uphold those themes. But, like, South Korean, for example, like, a lot of the mentality there is don't look, don't ask. Kind of let everybody go about their business and let them be on. But one thing that is specifically shown is how they treat homeless people. Because in the beginning of the movie, they find on board there is a homeless man stowed away on the train, and there is also a woman who is bitten. But this woman is just a normal woman. She's dressed fine, you know, she looks just an everyday person. And so because of that, they don't question her. Although she's got this giant ass bite mark on her leg. And they don't look at her. They immediately see the homeless man. They're like, hey, you got to get off this train. So all the security is like dealing with him while this woman is literally like shambling around, like erratically moving, like walking through the train, and then she just starts biting. And then of course, you know, being on a train, how the fuck are you gonna escape?
Yikes.
And it does a lot to talk about a lot of different themes, and the main character is kind of really represented through a duality of like these two other characters, where one is kind of on his right side, the angel, on the left side, the demon. And everybody kind of gets what they deserve.
This movie sounds very like Snowpiercer meets World War Z.
Kind of, yeah.
Sounds amazing.
And
yeah,
sounds very much like My Speed.
Yeah, it's one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen.
Where is it on, like a thing?
On Netflix.
Where do you?
It's
on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix. Yeah.
I really wanted to watch that, but you know what? That's something I might do during this quarantine is get over my hatred of subtitles.
Please, I would love nothing more, Frank, than for you to get into foreign film.
Well, because they put Parasite on Hulu.
Remember when I told you that?
Right, yeah, I forgot about that. I still haven't watched Parasite.
You should watch Parasite. There's a lot of good movies like streaming everywhere. Like Midsummer, Hereditary, and The Lighthouse are all on Amazon Prime.
I just refuse to watch The Lighthouse.
Oh, but it's on Prime, right? I really want to watch Lighthouse.
Matt, I want you to know if I wasn't already stealing a Prime login from someone else, I would totally give it to you.
Don't you have mine?
You have Prime?
Yeah, Matthew, I've had Prime for like 5 years.
Maybe we'll watch
But
that.
yeah, The Lighthouse is on there, and so is Midsummer and Hereditary. I have never watched Hereditary, though, because I
was gonna say, I want to watch Hereditary. I've kind of already spoiled Midsummer for myself and kind of have a...
You should still watch it, though. It's still good.
Yeah. But like,
I haven't seen Hereditary, though.
Yeah, I'd rather first watch Hereditary because I don't really know anything about Hereditary.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh, I mean, the only other movie I think I've really watched was, and I can definitely recommend, is Shaun of the Dead. If you've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Shaun?
No, like I've seen Shaun of the Dead, but I just recently rewatched it.
Shaun of the Dead is also...
I've seen that like multiple times.
It's another case of just...
Isn't that's somewhere now, like on Hulu or something, isn't it?
Might be on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix.
Is it Netflix?
If I remember correctly, Hot Fuzz is on Netflix. So if Hot Fuzz is on there...
Yeah, because I've just seen it somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I could rewatch that.
Yeah. Which Hot Fuzz, again, another terrific movie that if anyone hasn't seen that, watch it.
It literally gave the world two of my favorite actors.
Yes. But yeah, I definitely think Shaun of the Dead. I never realized how again, nuanced Shaun of the Dead is, where the kind of whole theme is like real life zombies versus action zombies and how they merge together pretty much.
Yeah.
But like rewatching it and like one of the coolest things they do is like the shot composition in that movie, where there are certain scenes where you see it happening like when the first scene, for example, is Sean waking up, going about his routine, and then the next time you do that, it's during the zombies appearing, but there's no difference because he's so set in his motion.
Well, that
he doesn't even realize it. Like
I always forget the name of the director, but so like all those movies with Simon Pegg. And
I'm literally looking it up right now.
The Cornetto trilogy.
I can't. Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Right.
So all of what?
He also did Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I didn't know.
Yep.
I didn't know that either.
All those movies are set in the same universe, and like his cinematography and his like directing style is like very unique. Like the only thing that I've seen that's similar to it is Guy Ritchie, which I think
his movies.
Like
Edgar Wright's movies are very good.
I love like one of my favorite scenes honestly is like how they hype up the mundane. Yeah. Like when they're getting ready, like and it's just like this fast action shot composition of him like vigorously brushing his teeth, putting on his shirt super fast, brushing off his. It's just like the most normal shit possible.
They do that in all like
they,
in Hot Fuzz when they
single,
suit up.
Yeah. But I mean, when they suit up, it makes more sense because you know they're putting on a vest, they're strapping on guns, you know, like they're doing shit like that. But like in Shaun of the Dead, it's literally just this normal dude getting ready, and it's just this super quick action sequence for no reason.
If you like that, you should watch Rock and Rolla.
I don't think I've ever even heard of
it. It's
that.
like one of
I don't think I have either.
So Layer Cake, I think, is Guy Ritchie's first like global movie that came out. That's with Daniel Craig. That's good too. And I think Rock and Rolla is like the next one that like it put him like on the map. Rock and Rolla did. There's like Idris Elba's in it. Tom Hardy's in it. There's a shit load of like UK like popular actors that are in it. And it's all set in like most of his movies are all set in like the UK like underground mafia theme. But like I just watched The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey.
Was that any good?
That was
that good?
Really? It wasn't it's not as good as some of his other movies, but the cinematography's still there. Like it's still a pretty good movie. And I can't stand Charlie Hunnam. Like I just think he's a terrible actor. It's the guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, okay.
Like Pacific Rim. Like he's just not a good actor, and I don't know why.
I thought he was good in Pacific Rim.
I
personally never watched Sons of Anarchy. I've never really had an interest in it.
I tried.
So I can't really attest to that too much.
I just think he's just a very cookie cutter actor. Like you could literally fill his shoes in any role he plays with virtually any other like typical like white male fit actor.
But I feel like at a certain point that's just kind of what they all blend in.
No, because like think about roles that like Brad Pitt plays. Like Brad Pitt definitely brings something a little bit more. Like
he's hot.
I mean, I can imagine World War Z taking place with literally any other antagonist.
Really?
Any slew of those like hot male white actors. Good.
I mean, you couldn't put fucking.
I can imagine Chris Hemsworth in it. I can imagine Chris Evans in it. I can imagine pretty much anybody that's played a Marvel character in it.
Channing Tatum.
I can imagine Channing Tatum in it. Yeah.
Fuck no.
Yeah, no, I could.
No.
Yeah.
I like Channing Tatum a lot, but I think he's a terrible actor.
I don't think Channing Tatum's a terrible actor.
I don't think he's great. But I really like him. Like I think he's like interesting to watch in roles and stuff. But I don't think he's a great actor.
I definitely don't think he's a bad
actor. I don't think he's a bad actor.
He's not terrible. Like there's definitely worse out there.
There's definitely worse.
I mean, yes and no. Honestly, like speaking of terrible actors or people that you usually think of as terrible actors, Nick Cage. If you've ever seen the movie or ever watched the movie, I highly recommend it. I think it's called The Color Purple, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It was a newer horror movie. Super, super strange, super good. Like, I can't, it's like almost like a Lovecraftian kind of like horror movie where it's just kind of the whole idea is just the madness that's occurring. And it's just such bizarre shit that's happening and constantly happening that like makes you question everything that's going on in the movie.
Did you guys ever watch Mandy?
I've not watched Mandy. I've seen like a lot.
It's another
Yeah.
Nick Cage like serious role, kind of weird.
I've heard it's
horror-ish movie. It's insane.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
I don't think that Nicolas Cage is a bad actor.
He's very good at Mandy.
He's very synonymous though. Like
I just don't think he plays a lot of the correct roles.
I think he overacts is really what the problem is.
I would say Nick Cage 100% depends on what movie he is in. Like I feel like these like you know like
Man?
Yeah.
The babies. Ah!
Yeah, but in like Mandy, that overacting thing kind of like works for the movie. Like he is very much like that role needed overacting, so he's like right in it.
I mean, he drank a bottle of LSD. I expect him to overact.
Yeah. So it's like Adam Sandler, like depending on what roles he's in. Like I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, but apparently he's insane in that.
I really want to see that. I mean,
that's coming to Netflix. I think like next month or something.
Like you remember watching The Cobbler, right?
Yeah.
Like The Cobbler, I thought was pretty good. It wasn't like a crazy movie or anything, but it was still, it was cool to see him in that serious tone, that serious light, and of course he still has that kind of like humor to him.
I honestly think that Nicolas Cage and Adam Sandler have gotten to the point where they could literally do anything they want. So, like, as far as acting...
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I like, especially Adam... Like, I feel like Adam Sandler could be like, hey, I want to make a movie about, like, paper mache. And people would be like, yep, I'm on board.
I mean, he made a movie about making shoes, so you're not very far off there.
Like,
he should make a paper mache movie.
Especially...
Like Ghost.
I was about to say, is it going to be like Ghost?
Like Ghost, but it's paper mache.
Especially like Netflix. I feel like they'll just pay Adam Sandler to do anything that...
I mean, they probably would.
How good do you think Adam Sandler's Patrick Swayze impression is?
Oh my God.
Probably amazing.
So then, you know what? Ghost Part 2.
But he doesn't look like Patrick Swayze, so I don't know if it would land.
Yeah, we got CGI, though. Come on.
It's true. If they could make the entire cast of the Irishman look longer.
He was pretty fit in the Zohan.
Okay, but being fit isn't what makes you look like Patrick Swayze.
You also don't mess with the Zohan, so.
Oh my God. That movie is awful. Ghost, not Zohan.
Oh, I mean.
Oh.
The best part about that movie is Demi Moore.
I love Zohan.
I mean, yeah, the best part
I don't know
is
if I would
Demi
say
Moore.
it's a good movie.
Honestly, if you're looking to watch something that's like super old and super creepy and perverted to watch the movie Striptease. It's with Demi Moore.
Super perverted to watch?
Yeah, because
like,
she's literally a stripper through the entire movie.
Okay.
So if you want to watch a good movie about strippers, watch Hustlers.
Or that, yeah.
The Full Monty.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike XXL, the sequel. Speaking of Channing Tatum being a decent actor, Magic Mike.
Oh my God.
No, Channing Tatum was the best in, oh my God, what's it called?
This Is the End?
Yeah.
When he's the Gimp?
Yeah.
I rewatched, actually, the Ghost Rider movies, and they were just as bad as I remember them. Like, the Ghost Rider parts aren't that bad.
I'm really hoping for a Blade appearance in Morbius. That's something I definitely want to talk about, is like the potentiality of Morbius.
I mean,
there's so much that can be introduced in that movie.
Well, they said that Spider-Man's going to be in it.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man should be in it first of all.
Well, yeah.
I would love for them to do some sort of reference to Mephisto, because that should probably happen at some point.
I want to see Marvel's version of Dracula.
I mean, yeah.
Like, he's one of the most interesting characters.
I don't know. I feel like having Morbius and Dracula in the MCU is kind of...
Well, no, but that's what they're saying for the Blade movie.
Is they're going to have him fight Dracula.
Yeah.
I mean, that...
As long as it's not like... As long as it's not a Wesley Snipes Dracula, because that was just garbage, where he literally turns into a Power Ranger at the end of the movie. He literally looks like Goldar at the end of the movie.
I mean, I'm hoping for Mephisto. I'm hoping for Blade. And I'm definitely hoping for Johnny Storm.
I feel like
then they could do the oh my God, what's it called?
Fuck Johnny Storm. And I feel like they literally...
Not Johnny Storm, sorry. Johnny Blaze.
Yeah. Midnight Suns.
Yes, Midnight Suns.
I feel like they definitely can't introduce Mephisto though. Like,
why?
Because he's too powerful. He would literally.
But there are many ways to, yes, he's too powerful, but there are many ways, like they could say like, oh, they could use the Ancient One and say the Ancient One sealed him away in the hell fucking state.
Yes, but how would they beat him?
by the power of friendship.
They have sorcerers now, and they could be introduced. I'm hoping that's kind of where Wanda
Like
and Vision
Mephisto in comics is rated as being stronger than Thanos. Like as long as Thanos doesn't have the gauntlets.
Well, he's stronger than Thanos in Hell, but outside of Hell, he's typically not as powerful unless he's got something that.
But he's still
going
like
along
it's the
with
same.
that.
It would be the same thing like Lucifer. Like people want them to put Lucifer in the DC movies.
Yeah.
But it's like Lucifer is.
I also feel like there's no setup for Lucifer whatsoever.
Well, there is but they're saying that there's setup. You gotta remember
the angels versus the demons.
No. Because Marvel with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that separated the MCU to the whatever Marvel TV shows. They're completely separated and different. They don't ever interact. They don't want them to interact. Same thing like with the Netflix characters. But the DC, because their content's just garbage and they don't know what they're doing, they just throw it all into one. Like even some of the animated stuff is canon in the DCEU. So like in the CW shows, they have the huge crossover, which brought Lucifer to like the normal DC universe.
See, I like that more though.
So do I.
I don't understand the purpose of doing a TV show that's not related to the movies at all.
But yeah, like I agree with you. Like the whole Marvel TV show nonsense that they tried to do, it literally means nothing. That and the show, a lot of the Marvel shows fizzled out and didn't really mean much.
Well, I mean, they fizzled out because most of them got canceled. But
well, no, like I watched a clip the other day where they introduced. So you know who Graviton is? I think it's Gravitron or Graviton. He's the MCU villain. Like he literally just has the power to manipulate. He's kind of like Magneto, except he can just all he does is like gravity. So all he can control is gravity. But like he's also like because he can control gravity anywhere, anytime, any point. He's one of the strongest like MCU villains, and like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. take him down. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah.
So, but before we get into things that I wouldn't recommend, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, no, I wouldn't wreck it either. Yeah. Frank or Logan, what do you like? What have you consumed that you enjoy?
I would have to say the end of last week, I watched the new Konosuba movie. I'm not sure if you guys have seen anything on that.
Nope.
It's another isekai type anime, but it was just a movie that
I
they
don't even
did.
know what that is.
Isekai is when the main character is like transported to a different world.
Oh no, I have died and now I'm a slime.
Oh, please don't shit on that.
Sword Art Online, like things like that.
Sword Art Online is garbage.
I don't. This.
Okay, no, it's not.
I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah. All right. And then besides that, the only type of other media, it's just been like a little YouTube here and there, and then Halo Master Chief Collection. I love, getting teabagged all the time by the red team. Like, fuck off.
I honestly, when I re-downloaded that and somebody came over and they show it, and I'm like, I like forgot what it was until I saw it for the first time again. Like I remember how like intricate and like important it was when you played the original Halos on Xbox. It was to teabag the people that you kill.
100%.
Oh yeah. No, I've been teabagged way too much.
I only do it if, like I greatly like just fucking outskill the person. Usually, unless it's just strictly just trying to fucking shit on people.
Well, I will say like it was a little uncomfortable with a keyboard and mouse. This morning I tried using an Xbox One controller, and like I used the bumper jumper button layout. I always have, and you're gonna look at me weird. But after playing it for a week on a keyboard and mouse, bumper jumper just like the controller is not fast enough for like reality.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I've been using my controller when I play.
So do I.
And I feel like maybe it's just because it puts me kind of back into the element of originally playing the fucking games.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I definitely perform worse on mouse and keyboard in that game comparative to if I was using
I could not imagine playing that.
I also think it has something heavily to do with the amount of aim assist that's on the controller, because it feels like there's a lot, to be honest. Like I've noticed I'll be aiming at one dude, and if another guy crosses by, my fucking crosshair just does this. Like to the guy running by me. I'm like, okay, that's not what I want at all. I'm trying to shoot at this one man. Please let me. But I don't know. Halo's a lot of fun to me, and I'm really afraid. Like, I'm excited for the Halo 2, release for Master Chief on PC. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's probably coming up, hopefully, next month or so. Because I know they're supposed to be announcing something this month about it. But who knows now with everything going on, how that's going to affect it, and if it will still release on time. But I'm really scared about Infinite. Like, I'm genuinely worried about Infinite because I've seen like one leak specifically that was really scary to me, and I really hope they don't do it because like pretty much the leak was that the reason why it seems like it's back in Halo 1 is because there's going to be like some time travel shenanigans. And
that's always good when they introduce time travel into things. That's a direct shot at the MCU. But go ahead.
Depending on how they do it and where they set it, like, you could be losing so much. I mean, if they go back all the way to Combat Evolved, you lose 2, 3. I mean, yeah, you lose 4 and 5, which some people will be happy with, some people won't. But just to completely write them away and say, oh yeah, this never happened now. And then losing the monumental effects of 2 and 3 on top of that, and also ODST. But anyway, for people to get that, like, I just hope they don't do it. I really hope they don't do it because it would be so bad for the franchise, I feel. And although the game looks good, we haven't seen anything else about it. Like, there's been no gameplay release. There's been no new trailers, no new story, no new anything about the game. And it's supposed to release this year. It's supposed to release, I think, in December.
Well, it's probably going to get pushed back.
It's gonna get pushed back. Everything's gonna get pushed back 3 months.
They've been saying their development is completely on track. So far they've not even hinted at like the idea of a delay. I mean, most companies, if there's going to be a delay for a game, they'll just come out and say, "Hey, sorry guys, this game's going to be a couple months late," which I personally never find as an issue.
No.
I would rather have a game be delayed, work shit out, be better on release than to have a fucked up game and then have them release and patch it through for a year to it being the same quality.
I completely agree. Matt. It is so much better to postpone a game and let the employees like have the time to make it a good game than to rush it and end up with a shitty game.
Yeah, I think that's like so. Battlefield 5 actually. Battlefield 5 on release was real bad, which is kind of just synonymous with Battlefield games because most Battlefield games, when they release, they have a lot of server issues and a lot of net coding issues, stuff like that. But 5 was kind of in a whole different boat where there's a lot of unpopular opinions about it. So Battlefield 5's issue now is like DICE just announced that they're no longer going to be like they're going to be developing on the game, but there's no new content coming out. They're just going to be doing patchwork and stuff like that. And there's like still the same bugs that were from release that are still in the game. Almost, I think, 2 years now has gone by since the game was released. And it's just not getting fixed. It's not getting better. And just people are super pissed off about it. Which, I mean, great. Why wouldn't you be?
I mean, yeah. Games are expensive. So, you know?
So I watched all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Did you like it?
Yes. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, to me, it's better than The
Frank
Office.
likes something. Holy
It's
shit.
better than The Office. All right.
Yes.
Take.
Amy and Jake's relationship is better than Pam and Jim's. By far.
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
First of all,
and
Pam,
I just can't back up anything.
Pam is not attractive in any way.
What does that matter?
I'm just saying, like, it's
First of all,
it's more interesting to me because the girl is more attractive.
First of all, Pam is attractive. Second of all, why is that the only thing that matters?
I'm not saying that's the only thing. Plus, they're just more like the interactions are more interesting. Like they're just more interesting. Like I like Jim. Jim is probably my favorite character in The Office. But like it just kind of gets stale at a point. Like it starts off super awkward and boring, and then it gets super awkward towards the end.
Yeah, but again, the reason why I think The Office is a better show is because it kind of explores the full spectrum of like what humor they can pull out of it. Like, yeah, there are times that are just meant to be specifically just funny. There are times that are meant to literally just make you.
Well, I feel like
skin crawl on the screen.
I feel like there's a lot of times in The Office where it just falls flat. There's a lot of good parts, but there's a lot like The Office is not a bad show. Like I like The Office, but I just kind of enjoyed.
Have you ever watched The English Office?
No,
I love The English
I
Office.
just preferred Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it was a little bit more faster, a little bit more exciting than The Office.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a show about detectives.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's going to have that kind of going for it instead of, you know, people working at a paper company.
Or like I just started Parks and Rec, and that show is awful.
I've never been able to get into Parks and Rec.
I will say Parks and Rec, the first season of Parks and Rec, you kind of have to like chug through. But the rest of it is very good.
Because I think I'm on episode 5, and so far like I've fallen asleep 3 times.
Once you get through the first season, just like chug through it. Because I will say I think the first season of Parks and Rec is not as good compared to like the first season of like The Office or the first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But it is a good show, and I like Parks and Rec.
I would say the first season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is actually like really well done. Like it is because most shows, I mean,
I would say the same thing about
cartoons. The first season's always kind of.
I'd say the same thing about the first season of The Office.
Yeah.
I think it's like pretty good.
Like after the pilot for Parks and Rec, because I watched the pilot episode, the first episode, and I was literally like, how did this show continue? Like, how did they?
It gets good. I promise.
But I'm saying, how was this show greenlit from this pilot? Because the pilot show it's just awful. Like it's garbage.
What is on the same vein of this? What is your guys' like favorite like sitcom-esque show, like The Office, Parks and Rec, that type of vibe?
I mean, I'd probably say The Office. I mean, The Office is really the only kind of. I don't like a lot of sitcoms.
I've watched a lot of them.
That's
like, I mean, like I really enjoy Seinfeld.
Well, yeah.
But Seinfeld is like, whether people want to admit it or not, like Seinfeld at this point is like kind of very dated. Like the jokes are dated, the things they talk about are kind of dated, like the things that they do in the show are dated, like stuff. Like I was watching a clip the other day on Facebook, and it was literally like when Jerry gets a cell phone, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like it was like this big brick phone. It was like the whole show is based on him using, every aspect of the show is based on him using that brick phone. And like it's funny, but like it's super dated because there's like
because if
for like a person,
someone like my age,
that's
where we've
thing.
never had a phone like that, or even someone younger than us.
Like I remember those phones existing, and like I used like some of those phones like as I grew up. But like somebody that's in their early 20s or like in their teens, like Seinfeld to me like holds no regard over watching. Like I feel like they're not going to be interested in it at all. But I would say like I'm not a Friends guy at all. Zero.
Well, Friends isn't good. I watched all of Friends. It's not great. Ross is one of the worst characters on TV.
I have never been able to get into Friends. I remember watching Friends like as it released, and I could not get into it.
Honestly, I would say one of my favorites is actually I've just started going through watching it again is Curb Your Enthusiasm. Because like it's very similar to The Office or the Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's Larry David, like co-creator of Seinfeld. But it's I think less dated than obviously Seinfeld is, and it's kind of cooler because it's instead of a fictional setting that is surrounded by the mundane and escalated, it is Larry David's own personal life that is just kind of always going upside down, and it's a real good show to watch just to see the situations he finds himself in.
I've also been going through and like watching any new movie that's released like in the past year, or at least trying to, or like
watch The Lighthouse, Frank.
I will not watch The Lighthouse. Any movie that is created after, I don't know, 1985 that's black and white should not be made.
But Frank,
I don't care. Black and white, right there.
The aesthetic.
Sin City's garbage. Frank Miller is garbage.
Also, Frank, you can watch it. It doesn't. Just watch it anyway, even though it's in black and white.
I can't bring myself. First of all, I'm not a big fan of Robert Pattinson. Like, I'm just not a big fan.
Because you haven't watched the good movies that he's in.
Well, I was gonna say, what Robert Pattinson movies have you really seen? I really can't say I don't like him or like him because I don't.
But you haven't seen the movies he's in.
I mean, I didn't like. First of all, watching Twilight, like Twilight's were bad movies, but I also think that Twilight was bad because there was a lot of like I think I don't like Robert Pattinson in it. I don't like Kristen Stewart in it.
I don't think that.
Okay, you can't base any of their acting careers on Twilight. Like,
yeah, because I think that
they've
the
all
direction
got
was bad. The writing was bad. So any actor is, of course, going to seem kind of bad because they're only working with what they're given.
There's a lot of movies I've watched.
Robert Pattinson has gotten so good in recent movies. You really should watch like his like indie house movies. They're so good.
Why would I watch an indie house movie?
Because they're good.
Idea of the actor, and
I don't like.
And Robert Pattinson's very good in them. Also, Willem Dafoe's also in The Lighthouse.
I know, and I love Willem Dafoe, but I don't think I can bring myself to watch a black and white film.
I mean, how could you not want to see pirate Willem Dafoe? I know
it's just they just have like sea shanties.
Yeah,
it's
like
such a good movie.
Like sailor, like old timey sailor Willem Dafoe is something that I could definitely
just screaming at Robert Pattinson. It's so good. It's such a good movie, and it's got spooky vibes all about it.
I also watched Onward, which I fell asleep during and didn't finish. Nor will I probably go back and finish.
Frank, I want you. Remember when you said your quarantine mission was to finally watch movies that have subtitles? Once you get past that hurdle, I want you to watch movies that are shot in black and white.
I also feel like Disney Plus has really dropped the ball.
I would completely agree.
I feel like there's nothing to watch on Disney Plus.
Like, the Black Cauldron on Disney Plus?
What?
The Black Cauldron? Have you not seen that one?
I don't even know what that is.
It's an old Disney movie.
It's
a good movie.
I'm all old Disney movied out.
I actually don't know that movie at all.
I watched The Lion King and Monsters Inc. and I was good.
No, it's like older than The Lion
It's like
King.
It's like
early
80s,
yeah.
90s.
80s,
very good.
I don't like 80s animation anymore.
Actually,
I like even animation from when I was a kid.
I mean, it's 80s Disney animation, so it's probably like 2000s animation, really. Because like
The Black Cauldron is good. I will second Logan's rec. The Black Cauldron is actually a very good movie.
Oh yes, I have seen that. I saw that forever ago. I have seen that.
Very good, and it should be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't really understand what Disney Plus is doing, but I feel like there's no point for it to exist because I feel like Netflix could have just done it better.
I think Disney Plus made a mistake in releasing all of their good shows right from the get-go and then not having anything released for like another year. Like
to be fair, what else were they going to open Disney Plus with? Because
I mean, like all the Marvel movies aren't even on it.
Well, because those are contractually on other streaming sites. That's kind of out, you know. But I'm saying, like, you put out, like, you know, they have all these, like, grand shows. They need to either do all these good shows in the beginning and then, like, 6 months later, put out your Marvel shows, put out WandaVision, put out all that shit. But it's just, like, way too long of a time to not have, like, new content, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I haven't watched anything on Disney. Onward's the first thing I've watched on Disney Plus since The Mandalorian.
Same. Literally exactly the same.
I haven't even finished The Mandalorian.
I'm, like, almost done with it, but, like, honestly, I don't want to talk about Star Wars again. It just makes me mad.
All right, we don't have to talk about Star Wars. We can move on.
It literally just makes me angry.
Yeah, no, I mean, on Disney Plus, like, it's just, if you don't want to watch a Disney movie and you've already seen The Mandalorian, you're kind of, like,
I've been, like, downloading or, like, renting movies and stuff. Like, I just watched...
Look at you paying for movies.
Yeah. Yep, that's
like a good citizen.
That's what the world's come to. I also Doolittle, like I can't even describe the disdain I had for that.
Imagine saying you're not going to want to watch The Lighthouse because it has Robert Pattinson in black and white, and
watching
going to go watch Doolittle instead.
I didn't watch Doolittle instead. I'm a fan of Robert Downey Jr. There was a lot of good voice actors in it that I like. And that movie was just dumb.
You
like,
need
I don't
to
know why
hop on
you
gotta hop on a new Robert train.
Like, I really don't know why that movie was made. Nor do I.
I don't know why you watched it.
Like, and now that I did watch it, like, it's like a puzzle in my head. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it was made. And I don't know, for the life of me, I can't understand why Robert Downey Jr. would choose to be in that movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say instead of like being continuing Iron Man.
I mean, I don't understand, like Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, for them to go be in like artistic films and all that. Like, I'm sorry.
Knives Out was very good.
Knives Out was not good, Sam. Knives Out was not good. Knives Out left so much on the table. It was just terrible.
I would say terrible.
Like
but Knives Out definitely dropped the ball.
Yes.
It had a really good premise. Again, really good story.
I mean, I knew who did it right from the beginning.
Yes.
I knew who did it right from the beginning. Which,
yeah, and that was the problem.
All right.
If you want to watch Knives Out, just watch Clue.
I will say with Knives Out, this is, I guess, spoilery, but you know, in the beginning when she gives him the wrong medicine, that whole excuse is completely dropped because of the fact that he is showing no fucking symptoms. She gave him the wrong medicine and there's just nothing. He would have passed out fucking immediately. Not to mention, I think the branding of that movie really fucking spoiler that Chris fucking did it.
Yes, and that's the thing. Or like, why?
But I still like Knives Out.
Like a lot of people like Daniel Craig's character, but
his southern accent.
His foghorn leghorn garbage, like, to me, just took away from the movie. Like,
I still liked Knives Out. I was into it. I like a good mystery, and even though I knew who did it right from the get-go, I was into it.
Like, Clue is one of my favorite movies that's ever been made. And I'd rather watch that movie with zero dialogue than rewatch Knives Out.
You don't, I mean, it's fair. I'm trying to think, though, when you say you don't know why all these MCU people are going to arts movies.
Like,
I can't think of another arts movie.
I'm sorry, you chose to be Iron Man for 10 years. Like, that's all you're going to be known as. Like,
are
sorry.
you calling Doolittle an art movie?
No. I'm saying, no, but like, Robert Downey Jr., like Chris Evans wanted to do that stuff to go like on their own direction, like do their own, whether like
they wanted to do something other than Marvel movies.
I say artistic because like I know Chris Evans has a lot of independent like indie stuff that he wants to get into and stuff like that. Which like Snowpiercer, I really liked him in Snowpiercer. I really like
because he's very good in Snowpiercer.
I really like Chris Evans as an actor, but I'm sorry, you're Captain America. Like,
well, that's how all of these major franchises go. I mean, the Harry Potter cast did the same thing. Yeah. Like Emma Watson and oh my god, what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe. They're always going to be Harry Potter and Hermione, but they still want to do like other movies.
Speaking of that, has anybody here seen Swiss Army Man?
No. I'm sorry, Matt.
Sam, please watch that movie because I feel like you would definitely enjoy it.
See, I like Daniel Radcliffe, but I can't bring myself to finish the Harry Potter films. And
Did you start them? I know you said last week you were thinking about starting Harry Potter.
I started. Is the first one Chamber of Secrets or the Sorcerer's
No.
Sorcerer's
Stone.
I watched the first 10 minutes of the Sorcerer's Stone and came to the conclusion that the Lord of the Rings is better and turned it off.
Okay, but they're different movies. Frank, you will never watch a movie if you will only watch movies better than Lord of the Rings.
No, like I
honestly, feel like there's still some room for improvement there.
I honestly just didn't. I just had. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I
mean, here's the thing. I think the Harry Potter movies, they're not like masterpieces. You know, they're not like Lord of the Rings levels of like being amazing book to movie adaptations, but they're still good.
And I have a lot of PTSD from being in Universal and being in the lines for the Harry Potter rides, where it's just all people talking about Harry Potter and everything is Harry Potter themed.
Are you really going to be mad that you were in Harry Potter World and people were only talking about Harry Potter? Frank.
No, but like I gave it a shot. I tried it. And
it's okay.
Somehow I got dragged back there another 3 times after that. And each time it just got worse.
It's all right. I'm totally fine with being the one employee who knows what Harry Potter is at the comic book.
Like, I think that there's way cooler. There's just, it's interesting. It's like, I read the first book too. Like I read the Sorcerer's Stone. Like it's interesting, but it's not like.
Yeah. I have a lot of nostalgia value for Harry Potter.
I feel like that's the only thing that people have for Harry Potter is.
Well, because now J.K. Rowling has kind of fucking ruined the series. To which I say to all of the children who liked Harry Potter, Narnia, Those movies aren't exactly great either, but the books are amazing.
Dawn Treader is literal.
Are you talking about the ones that came out in the 90s or the ones that came out in the 2010s?
No, like the 2010 movies.
Oh,
That's like
Which,
talking about
the
Lord of
first
Rings,
one?
talking about the first animated movie, Logan.
hey, you leave that movie alone. It's classic.
Yeah,
The
where
first
Gandalf
Narnia
literally
movie is
looks like a
fine.
pedophile.
But yeah, Narnia books, big recommend. I have them all. They were like my favorite books as children. Like they are like tethered to shit because I loved the fuck out of that first
You know
book.
what I still haven't watched that I'm really kind of disappointed in myself that I haven't watched yet is the continuation of the Golden Compass.
The
HBO
TV
I
show?
haven't watched that either.
I haven't heard
I haven't heard anything really.
I gave
but
it a
I mean,
shot.
it's the same thing as the Golden Compass.
I
so-
gave it a shot. I watched the first episode. I gave it a shot. And
That was another book I really liked,
that was just not interesting.
like as a kid. Remember reading? Remember like enjoying reading?
When?
I used to love reading as a kid, and it just now is not a thing I like get into. I used to read so many fucking books.
I have a very love-hate relationship with books. Like I remember being forced to read when I was younger and hating it, and like reading stuff like in class. And then I remember reading like a couple books that I really enjoyed, and then I remember reading like a couple more, and then just kind of like reading periodically, but never really like enjoying reading.
I loved reading, and it's like now reading feels so fucking hard. Like I try to read now, and it's like feels impossible.
Yeah, I feel like I can't focus enough to read anymore.
No, I can't focus on it at all. And I don't know if I haven't found the right book or like if it's just my attention span. But I used to like plow through books. Like I remember like all of like the Hunger Games books I read in like a day. Like I read one book in like a fucking day. Like I sat down and just read it. I could never do that now. Like absolutely not. I can't.
It's hard for me to read really any book now. Like
I think one of the last
Any book.
one
Yeah.
of the last books I ever read, I think, was Project Valkyrie. And I think that's literally like
the World War II.
Mhm.
I can't remember the last book I read.
I read Dante's Inferno.
which I promptly took back.
Yeah, that was the last book I read.
I started rereading it, and then like I don't know, I haven't picked it back up again. It's just
actually no, I actually downloaded and started reading Howard Stern's book.
Oh really?
Yeah. And
I feel like I just got to get audiobooks. I think
I just need.
Audiobooks are
I agree. I feel like I just need to get
it's
into
got-
audiobooks.
have a good narrator.
Yeah, I've done a lot of like I did World War Z on audiobook. I did The Hobbit on audiobook. I did the first Howard Stern book on like I've done a lot of audiobooks. And if it's a shitty narrator, it literally sounds like someone is stabbing you in the ear.
Isn't the narrator?
I mean, that makes sense.
World War Z. I forgot who it is, but isn't it someone really good?
It's the guy who wrote it.
Is
but
it?
He's actually like good. And it's not just the guy who wrote. So the book World War Z is it's not even a comparison to
the movie. Yeah, no, I know. It's like a bunch of short stories, right?
It's a bunch of, so what it is it's a journalist flying around the world interviewing people after they've controlled the zombie outbreak.
Yes.
So every person he interviews, like he interviews somebody in Korea, he interviews somebody in Israel, he interviews somebody in Jersey, in Philly. And every time he interviews them, it's a different voice actor telling their story.
The Japanese interviews the best.
Yeah.
That is such a good like format.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was, like World War Z, the book is 10 million times better than the movie.
I don't
That's
mind.
usually how it
Like
goes.
the movie is still, it's okay.
I think the movie's just so like generic.
I just forget.
I'm gonna be real. I feel like I don't have like a memory of World War Z. I remember the scene where they're like climbing up the fucking wall, and that's like my only recollection of that movie.
Brad Pitt goes on 80 days to travel across the world, but a zombie apocalypse.
All right.
That's the movie, pretty much.
I also forgot it was Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and that,
Like,
I think that's part of the problem. Is like
I know we already talked about it being Brad Pitt, but I
yeah, the
still,
characters
like-
are portrayed.
Stop shitting on Brad Pitt today.
The characters.
I
are
like
portrayed-
Brad Pitt.
The characters are portrayed in such a way that you just don't ever feel like anyone's actually in danger. At least it like matters. Like you don't ever like Brad Pitt's in danger, but like he's gonna get out of it.
But, like-
I feel like there was never a point in the movie where you're actually like, oh my god, is he going to survive?
Yeah,
Well-
you need like stakes.
No, see, if you had read the book
Again, reading it, I'm sure.
No, but I'm saying if you had read the book and you had watched the movie, like you realize, like virtually, like in the book, like nobody's really important. Like,
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of individual stories.
Yeah.
Which
that's
is
why.
better to
Which
me.
when I first
That
like,
is better.
first few minutes of World War Z, I thought it was going to be like that, especially when he starts traveling and stuff. And then I realized
Yeah.
it was just him trying to find the cure. And I was like, please, the cure did like that whole weird WHO that does not exist in the book.
Yeah.
That's literally
They just
Really?
bring it back, don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
they literally devise ways to well, first of all, the zombies are not like superhumanly strong and fast.
No.
They're just normal zombies.
Well, I thought they were still faster.
They're
like,
not
in the
fast.
books.
They're
I
not
thought they
fast.
were.
No, the problem is the thing that so it's like a mixture between like The Walking Dead and 28 Weeks Later, meaning that it's The Walking Dead's volume of zombies, but it's 28 days later's turn time. So like if you get bit, it's still like 10 seconds till you turn. So like for instance, like in New York City, like it's just the sheer population of zombies. Like there's a part in the book where they discuss it's like the battle of like Jersey Turnpike.
Yeah. You're talking about like all the military that's there.
It's the military lined up and they have the turnpike locked down and they're all like ready to defeat the zombies. But they didn't realize that like all of Manhattan and Jersey are zombies.
Yeah.
So there's literally millions of zombies just pouring through the turnpike. And it goes through like people realize like bullets start running out, like food starts running out. So like all like the population moves to like colder climates because the zombies freeze. Like it literally like that's why that guy did that whole zombie like safeguard thing, because like he like his ideas for it are just like on another realm.
There's actually a book that I have. I don't even know how long ago that I had, but it's literally called like How to Survive the Zombie
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
there's a lot of them like
Yeah.
in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, and it's literally like this. It's a survivor's first person, like talking about how he survived and stuff like that. And that's one of the things they say. It's like I immediately moved up to Canada because in a colder climate,
But it also-
zombies can't move as fast.
But it also tells you like in the book, like people that moved to the colder climate that weren't prepared just froze to death.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories from that though is the military group where I think it's in Times Square they're in, where they set up a perimeter and then they have like a bunch of speakers and they just start blaring Led Zeppelin as loud
to
as they
attract the
humanly
zombies.
can to have zombies close in on them. And it's just literally like them blaring Led Zeppelin, just mowing down zombies in a circle. And
Or like they create like in the book they create like a new weapon. It's a new type of gun. I think it's a gun. It's like a rifle, but it's like part sword and shovel, and it can like shoot like it could shoot like most any type of bullet. So like that's the thing that they give everyone on the front line. And there's like another draft where they draft people in, and like it literally starts. I think it starts in the Midwest because it's the Rockies. The Rockies is like the border because the zombies can't cross the Rockies because of the cold and they freeze. So the Rockies, everything west of the Rockies, I believe, is where they start like forming this plan to take back the rest of the United States. And then like the latter half of the book is them literally pushing from the Rockies to east to take over like the rest of the United States. And then it goes into like Russia's fight, and it goes into like there's like the one that Matthew was talking about earlier, which is the Japanese story, which follows like a blind man who goes to like
the suicide forest in Japan.
Yeah,
like it's a synonymous, like known forest.
Yeah.
Where people kill themselves.
Yeah.
And of course, it's just this blind man. He goes in with a fucking katana.
No, he doesn't have a katana. He has a staff.
Does he? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he literally like he's blind. He learns his surroundings and literally like defeats all the zombies around him. Like he lures them to cliffs.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's really interesting.
Damn.
So yeah, that's definitely something I would rec if you haven't read or anything or audiobooked it. Like World War Z is really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, audiobooks in general might be interesting, but
I feel like I need to dive into audiobooks because I'm missing out on like the book realm because of my inability to read.
I feel like things that I would not recommend would be definitely Doolittle. Don't ever watch Doolittle.
Oh, Frank, I was totally gonna watch it.
Honestly, like Bloodshot wasn't bad. It was interesting, but honestly, you could take it or leave it.
Who
Like
cares?
it just didn't hold up. Like it just didn't hold. First of all, Vin Diesel literally plays the same person in every film. Like
I think Vin Diesel is one of the most overrated actors on planet Earth.
I think
by far.
Well, they
I
also
agree.
announced another Fast and the Furious movie.
With Cardi B.
What number are we on?
Like 10?
10, I think.
Nah, I thought it
No,
was
this is
9.
11.
Is it?
I think if it's
I
a
think
new
you're
one, 'cause
right.
I think wasn't it Fast 10 or something like that?
I have
Let's
not.
see.
The last Fast and Furious movie I watched was, I think, Fast 7, and that's only because I went to theaters.
No, we're very wrong. There are 14 movies.
Well, that probably also includes Hobbs and Biggs and all the side ones. We're talking about the main ones.
Honestly,
I mean, that's
all,
still
the fact,
a part of
yeah,
the
honestly, all of them,
franchise.
Logan. All of them that could just go. Like,
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't care
definitely.
about Paul Walker. Like, just get rid of them. Just get rid of those movies.
Because there's the Fast and the Furious, Better Luck Tomorrow, Too Fast, Too Furious, the turbocharged prelude, Fast and the Furious, the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Los Banderos, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, The Fate of the Furious, Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Fast
That's
9 and Fast and Furious 10 are both greenlit and scheduled to release in 2021.
Man, nobody works harder than the person naming the Fast and the Furious movie.
Hey, Tokyo
What
Drift
do you
was
call
a
this
good
one? I don't know. Fast and fucking Furious, I guess.
Tokyo
Too
Drift
Fast,
was not a
Too
good
Furious!
movie, Logan.
Yes, it
Tokyo Drift
was.
not. That was by far probably one of the worst Fast and the Furious movies.
Do.
Let's put Lil Bow Wow and a hick in Japan. No thank you.
I mean, that sounds like it's only made to succeed, to be honest.
It sounds like an SNL skit.
And what does that not sound charming?
Yeah, those movies are just no thing. Or like one thing that I am interested in that Vin Diesel's doing is they greenlit another Chronicles of Riddick movie, which I don't know. Like Pitch Black was interesting. The Chronicles of Riddick movie was okay. Like it was entertaining. The whatever the latest one was, that was just pure garbage. So I'm interested to see what garbage form it takes now. But those are just bad. Those are just bad movies that I kind of enjoy.
I mean, that's the thing. Bad movies do kind of have an appeal, and that they're still kind of fun to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching a bad movie. It is one of my favorite activities, is watching an absolutely dog shit terrible movie.
Like, especially now, like, I literally feel like I've completed Netflix. Like, I feel like that I should get an achievement on Netflix for watching all of it. Because I feel like I've watched...
I finished Netflix today.
I feel like I've watched anything of interest, like, even stuff that I'm not interested in, but anything of interest I've watched on Netflix. That's why I just started watching Parks and Rec on Netflix. Because, like, it's just... I don't know. There's, like, there's just not a lot of good content out. And there's no new content coming out for the most part. Which really sucks.
I see, Frank, I think there are a lot of good movies, like, on streaming services right now.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
My sister has Amazon Prime, so yes.
So, have you seen the movies that they released on Amazon Prime?
I saw that The Lighthouse, Midsummer, and Hereditary are on there.
There's movies that I don't, like, I've never even heard of. First of all, they uploaded a bunch of new stuff to Amazon Prime, and it's all movies from the 70s.
Are they good movies from the 70s, though?
I mean, kind of, but, like, it's movies from the 70s. Who gives a shit?
Oh, you know what I've really been meaning to watch? Is, Love, Death, and Robots.
I did watch that. That was good.
Felix watched that,
yeah.
Actually. Felix was the one who told me about it.
Like, being, like a person like me, like, every movie that's come out in the 70s, 80s, and 90s that was good that I wanted to watch, like, I've already seen. Because if you lived through the 90s, that's all that was on TV. Like movie night, like, on normal cable was movies from, like, the 80s or, like, the early 90s or the 70s or stuff like that. So, like, I've seen a lot of those movies already, like Cannonball Run and shit like that. Like, I've seen those movies. So, yeah, we're pretty much done. That's all our recs and non-recs. There's definitely going to be more as the weeks progress because we're consuming more bad and good content, apparently. Because bad content still passes the time. So let us know in the comments and stuff, like what you want to talk about, questions, stuff like that. We're pretty much open to talking about anything at this point because we're all home. And hopefully we'll pick it up next week.
If anything should change, what we should talk about more, what we should talk about less, probably Star Wars, things like that, you know, kind of giving us some ideas on what we could work on because, I mean, we want to try and make the best content possible or what people want to see. So let us know what you want to see.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at The Real Fourth Wall. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review. That will help other people find the podcast. And yeah.
So have a good quarantine.
Yeah.
Great.